Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today on Winsight Live. Before I turn it over to Phil, a couple of stories up on Winsight Grocery Business this morning. Hy-Vee has joined the number of retailers, food retailers, that have introduced a premium subscription program. $99 for a premium membership gives them benefits such as unlimited delivery and a use of a hotline for issues with orders, as well as certain discounts in stores. FoodX, the Canadian company that powers the spud.ca website in Vancouver, is now expanding to the US. FoodX earlier this year announced a partnership with Walmart Canada to provide its delivery services around Vancouver, and more recently said that Carrefour was going to use its solution in Europe starting early next year with Belgium. So FoodX has hired PJ Stafford. PJ was the former United Natural Foods e-commerce president and a former VP of sales at Alert Technologies that was selling the micro-fulfillment solutions to Walmart. So PJ has now moved over to FoodX and is going to lead their expansion in the US. You can read about that at Winsight Grocery Business. Finally, late yesterday, the Save-A-Lot operator Madison Foods, a Boston-based company with 3 Save-A-Lot stores, said they were departing that group and joining the Wakefern cooperative. As a result, they'll be switching their stores from the Save-A-Lot banner to Wakefern's Price Right Marketplace banner. That's a pretty significant move in the fact that Madison, said to be one of the highest volume Save-A-Lot operators in the country, and not a good departure for Save-A-Lot. Really interesting that the Wakefern co-op, you've got to be voted, into the thing. It's a little bit of a kind of a cartel, like the National League in baseball or what have you. You need the approval of the owner. So this is, I think, the first time that they've allowed a pure discounter into the cooperative, and those stores will be switching over to Price Right in the next couple of weeks. They've also got another store in Dorchester, Mass, that's opening early next year, and that will open under the Price Right Marketplace banner. That's a store that's kind of similar to an Aldi or a Save-A-Lot, small discount store, limited service, efficient, but Madison will keep a few things that made them kind of different among the Save-A-Lot operators. That was they bought quite a bit of stuff that Save-A-Lot didn't sell, ethnic products that were right for the neighborhoods they were in, and they also do a fresh cut meat program, Phil.
Yeah, and John, it's interesting to me, 2 points of everything that you said. One is, with these subscription services that Hy-Vee, that Walmart and so on are doing, let's not forget the cash influx that they get that, gives them a huge bump. If we know about Amazon, their program has funded a lot of things for Amazon when you have that. And typically, once you get somebody into a subscription, they never leave. They forget to renew, or it's an automatic renewal. So this will give Hy-Vee a lot of cash. Also, when we look at Madison, I'm so glad that you made the point that they bought a lot of other things that Save-A-Lot didn't have. And that's why this makes a lot of sense. You go into a typical Save-A-Lot, it's small, very limited assortment, but you can buy, a huge block of lard. You can still do that at Save-A-Lot. So if you're interested, before they sell out, might be time to head over and get that lard. So a couple interesting things this morning. Gallup released a survey this morning that makes farming and agriculture the top ranked industry. 69% of surveyed Americans viewed the industry in a very positive way, followed number 2 by the grocery industry and number 3 by the restaurant industry. So, that's some really good news. And especially when we look at farming and agriculture, their leap compared to last year gained 11 points. in the positive column. So that was real interesting to me, that certainly because of the pandemic, I think, people are knowing more about how our food system operates, as grocers, as restaurants, as farms, and just have a much better feeling. I know Pat will want to comment on this. Manhattan has a restaurant called City Winery. It's upscale, and it announced that it will require their customers to take and pay for a $50 rapid coronavirus test before being allowed inside. So, they're not just taking your temperature, but you have to take the test and pay for it. Given the change of the seasons, finding the next level of safety and comfort level for people to dine indoors is critical for us today, said CEO Michael Dorf. I think that if a restaurant made me buy a coronavirus test for $50 before going in, I would just walk away. What do you think, Pat?
I think Pat's on mute. Phil, I'll just say, just to start, the City Winery is a great little hangout there. They put on concerts, they make their own wine and that kind of thing. And it is a really nice, comfortable room to kind of sit and watch a show. So you do have people who are very vested in that and tend to go there regularly. It's one of the things that we miss about the city without a corona down. Maybe it's a one-time thing, and perhaps they can associate that with, we're going to get you into X number of shows if you do that.
I don't know.
I also think a lot of customers might actually appreciate it because they want to get tested and they don't want to stand online. And this is kind of like killing two birds with one stone.
But it's $50 to the price of.
There are going to be people who really protest, but I think some people might appreciate it. Like one of our editors, Peter Romeo, said that he would definitely do that. He would get a concert and dinner and a free test. I mean, not a free test, but it's sort of like a cover.
$5? Yeah, maybe. But it's interesting. So, Jen, what's going on with Tops Market these days?
Well, so I wanted to start by asking, I wonder what the rest of you experienced shopping for Thanksgiving. I went to a number of different stores and I didn't experience any product, out of stocks or product shortages. I was able to get everything that I needed everywhere I went. Did anyone else have an experience where they couldn't find products?
No,
I didn't. I was able to get everything on my shopping list.
Yeah. So Tops was one of the, we've talked about this before. Tops was one of the grocers who, reinstituted purchase limits, kind of anticipating, the holiday rush and as well as a second wave. So I had the opportunity to connect with Thomas Durkin, their director of operations, on sort of, what the second wave is going to look like for them and what they've been the steps that they've been taking to prevent, what happened the first time around with empty shelves. And he said that, we've spent a tremendous amount of time working with our suppliers to make sure that, we have reserves and that we don't encounter these situations. But while they have implemented reinstituted purchase limits on certain products, key products like toilet paper and household cleaners. They also had like peanut butter and oatmeal on the list. They haven't had to impose those purchase limits on as many products as they did the first time around. So I think, overall, I think that they feel prepared for this second wave. They've also, for the past 2.5 years, been working with Itasca on a computer-assisted ordering system. And I also interviewed their CEO, Jeff Kennedy, and he said, while you can't, in a middle of a pandemic, it's really difficult to eliminate all out of stocks. But with using their magic CGO software that automatically orders and manages inventory and replenishment, it's a machine learning technology. So, basically it learned from the first, from what happened in March and April, and it's gotten smarter and therefore better able to help retailers avoid out of stocks and also reduce shrink, not having to throw things away when things don't sell. So it's just, it's interesting how, how quickly so many people in the grocery industry responded to the pandemic and really got ahead of it for whatever's coming next.
Yeah, the only thing that I've heard as far as shortages go has to do with packaging. That it's not necessarily the food itself. One person shared with me that there's right now a shortage. This is Festival Foods, Scogan's Festival Foods, that there's a shortage of the tops of pickle jars, the jar lids and so on, which is why they can't get enough pickles and things like that. So I think it's probably the next wave that we're going to see has more to do with petrochemicals, if you would, for packaging, which might be good news because it might push us to more non-petrochemicals, using soy-based packaging and things like that. Jackson, you know, we talk a lot about the advances that are being made in C-stores for online shopping. Give us the latest.
So I don't think it's any surprise to anybody that when it comes to e-commerce, convenience stores are a little bit behind. We recently ran a study from data firm Incisive, similar to a study from the same firm that Winsight Grocery Business does. And the big finding was, of course, that convenience stores have some catching up to do, but especially with the opportunity for more delivery options that the pandemic has presented, convenience stores sort of have a chance to leapfrog and join the rest of retail and restaurants and what have you. And we also found that when it comes to e-commerce and selling things online or through an app, Casey's is actually the leader in convenience stores. And Casey's is a giant in the industry. I mean, not only are they the 5th largest pizza deliverer in the country, but they're also the 4th largest convenience store in terms of store count. If you're from the Midwest, I don't have to tell you how great their breakfast pizza is. Additionally, they just spent in 2019 all this time and money and capital completely building out a new online ordering on their website, a completely new redesigned. They've really updated not just their image, but their capabilities recently. So Casey's is kind of the leader these days when it comes to e-commerce and convenience stores. But as I said earlier, the entire industry really has a chance to kind of catch up to the rest of the world.
So Christine, let's go back to something that Jen was talking about as it relates to this past holiday weekend. We heard about a lot of stores, not necessarily grocery stores, that were going to be closed for Black Friday. What happened in the grocery business on Black Friday?
Grocery business surged on Black Friday. It was a good day for stores that sell food and beverages. A couple of really interesting things out. So overall, online sales for US retailers topped $9 billion for Black Friday, which was a record. Wasn't quite as high as some analysts were expecting, but still a record. It's really strong sales. And one of the numbers that stuck out to me was 397% increase in grocery sales on that day.
Wow. Over
daily averages in October. That's interesting to me because, you know, we're used to seeing some of these crazy 3-digit percent increases for grocery sales year over year. But this is looking at October, 6 weeks ago, when a lot of us already are in the habit of buying food and beverages online. So what this suggests is, maybe you're looking at folks who went to your large retailers for the tech deals, for the toy deals on Black Friday, and then they added groceries to their order. And I think back, looking at some of the earnings calls, for example, from Walmart and Target from last month, executives from both of those companies talked about the surging demand for BOPIS, for buy online, pick up in store, and for curbside. Both of those retailers have emphasized their grocery offerings. And you have people who are, doing shopping online and then looking for convenient, contactless pickup for their items. You can buy your TV, you can buy, your Paw Patrol for your kids and get dinner for that night as well in one order. And when we're talking about this trend of trip consolidation amid the pandemic, people not going out to as many stores, one thing we saw with Black Friday too, in-store traffic was down 52% versus last year. but you have record-breaking sales. And it looks like some people are taking advantage of these opportunities to bundle their orders. And, stores that sell groceries, it looks like benefited from that. Another interesting thing from sales from the weekend to me was that some, grocery specific retailers are kind of getting in on the game, right? So, you had some Black Friday deals for Cyber Monday. Where were you going for your Cyber Monday deals? Well, Mariano's in the Midwest was offering some. You may not have thought of those traditionally, but places like Mariano's or Coburn's in Minnesota were in on the game. You could get discounts on gift cards. It was a buy $100, get a $10 gift card kind of a thing. Or Mariano's, you could get a discount, $20 off a ship purchase of $100 or more, as well as discounts on everything from wine openers to kids' activity kits. And you might be buying both in one visit, frankly. But it was a very strong weekend for retailers overall, and interesting to see how grocery benefited.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, especially that we're now starting to see this crossover, as you've described, where you have the traditional grocers, whether it be a Coburn's or a Mariano's, really trying to get into that business as well. And I'm just wondering, was part of it that we couldn't go to other stores? So we went to the stores that were opened, and they happened to be grocers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, you think about maybe on a traditional Black Friday, you're out shopping, you're going to different places, you get tired and gosh, can I trek to one more place? You're home, you're shopping online. Okay, I can open up a Mariano's tab and I'll get my groceries right now and just add to the things that are already being delivered. If I do have to go out, then yes, maybe I am going to my local grocery store that's a mile away versus trekking to, whatever specialty mall or whatever for other items that's going to be 25 minutes away, fighting traffic, being nervous about crowds, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So Jen, we've got a question for you from John Pandal. Are top markets limits influenced by Canadians crossing to buy up certain products in short supply in Canada? Great question, John. Jen, any idea?
I'm sorry, John. I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, that would be interesting. That didn't even occur to me.
Yeah, I know in Buffalo, tops, I want to say probably, if memory serves me right, this goes back when I used to shoot up there, probably about 30% of Tops business was people coming over from Canada because the prices were cheaper, especially that international Tops market when they first opened up that had a huge Canadian market coming over just to see these things that they were not available to them. So John, we'll try to find out for you.
Isn't our border still closed though? So you'd have to have dual citizenship probably to be able to cross over.
Yeah, you probably have to sneak under the border now. Or pretend, oh, I'm an American, I got lost. So Pat, my heart is breaking for all these restaurants here in Los Angeles. They reclosed them for 3 weeks, both indoor and outdoor dining. And it makes me wonder how restaurants are going to survive in general, but especially with not having the holiday business, without all the office parties, without all the celebration. What are they doing? And how are they looking at this year's holiday season?
Well, it's unfortunate that they're closing restaurants again during the busiest time of the year when people really would go out if they could. And it's, Q4 is usually the most lucrative time of year for restaurants. They take in, millions of dollars, depending on their size, to, thousands. And they're losing all of that this year because there are no company Christmas parties. There are no big social gatherings or even weddings that, can take place in restaurants. So they are trying some different tactics to make up even a fraction of what they're losing. For example, RPM Restaurants, which is part of the Lettuce Entertain You group in Chicago, they've been doing virtual events since May, and for the holidays, they've kind of ramped it up, and they're giving companies the option to purchase like a virtual cocktail class or a virtual cooking demo for their employees, and then they could all take part together and sort of gather virtually to experience some, some kind of social interaction. And then they also get the cocktail kit delivered to them, or a meal kit delivered that they can cook together. So it's kind of fun. And they've said that their business has really accelerated on selling these virtual packages during the holidays. So that's one tactic. There's also, the ones that can still do outdoor dining are setting up bigger tents in their parking lots and sort of decorating them with Christmas decorations. One chain, Fogo de Chao, also actually got their employees involved in decorating. So the employees brought in their own decorations, or they helped decorate the tents, and that sort of engaged them, and everybody got more into the holiday spirit because of that.
So there are some creative ideas out there that hopefully will help this part of the industry that has been so decimated. And it's horrible because not only for the restaurateurs themselves, but also for the employees. And without another bill out of Washington to help them, to extend benefits, to increase benefits, a lot of them are just really struggling. If we look, over the weekend, and we've been talking about some really positive things, but if we look over the weekend on CNN or any of the other news things, the lines at the food banks for Thanksgiving were enormous. And a lot of those people are people who have lost their jobs in the food service business. And it's, we got to do something here. So hopefully that vaccine is going to happen quick.
I hope so. I mean, some independent restaurants actually closed for the season, and they're not reopening again until March because it doesn't pay for their employees or for themselves to just, not be able to be open for indoor dining at all.
Yeah. So on that happy note, Jen, give us some good news to wrap up.
Right. Well, to your point, Phil, Feeding America has reported that there are going to be 52 million food insecure due to COVID. Wow. This is up 17 million from pre-pandemic levels. And so a lot of grocers are trying to address that, and Kroger is one of them. And for Giving Tuesday, they launched today a thank you kind of program through their Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation to encourage communities to donate to their foundation, which helps obviously fight hunger and waste, food waste. And so they're offering a thank you gift of, it depends on, what level you donate. If you donate a smaller amount of money, then they offer you a free reusable tote bag, Zero Hunger, Zero Waste tote bag. And then if it's $100 or more, they've got a hero cape. I'm not sure what that is, but that sounds like fun.
That's what John wears. John used to wear that at grocery shop and at Shop Talk. The hero cape where he would be walking around and everybody would talk to him.
I'm sorry to have missed that.
Yeah. I have a picture somewhere, I think. So thank you all for joining us today. Be well, be safe, wear a mask. And again, don't forget our archives are on Winsight Grocery Business, on CSP, on Restaurant Business, and on supermarketguru.com. And we will see you here next Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and have a great week.